Day One Journey, episode 1373. Stand up for yourself. Well, right now I had a challenging conversation with, well, with a friend, and also, either way, the conversation. I think there are times that, there's a quote that goes something like, there's the art of leaving things unsaid. Communication is not just about what you communicate; it's what you choose not to say. And sometimes it's powerful, sometimes it's useful, and sometimes saying everything on your mind, saying everything on your heart, is not a good idea. Sometimes because of the timing. But today it was totally the opposite. Yeah, for me, sort of everything is on the line. It's about I won't go into details, but it's about, where I'm going to be, next few months. And it's about career and stuff. And there's might be something changing in the next few days. And it will impact my well-being directly. And at the end of the day, the bottom line, I didn't do anything sort of wrong. I didn't do the mistake. I don't have responsibility for that. I don't need to have responsibility for that. There's two sides, having their own responsibilities for that, but I will be the one paying the price. And this is why it's the money time. This is why it's so critical for me right now. This is why, after a relaxed conversation with my friend, I chose to give him another call, putting him in place. Yeah. Putting him in place. Yeah. He did a mistake, and I articulated it very well, and I asked him, don't do anything to change it right now. Yeah. Why? Because my ass is on the line. Yeah. I asked him not to do that. And he respected that, of course. I think it was one of the very, very important conversations, even of my life. Yeah? Why? Because my ass is on the line. And I really, really, really didn't like him in the conversation, sort of reframing the situation with questions like, you didn't know that? Yeah, I didn't know that. It's not my job to know that. It's your job to know that. And you didn't do the homework. So in the next conversation, I let him know. And why did I let him know? Not because I want to be righteous. Because I didn't want him to change anything. Yeah? Why? Because it's my ass on the line. His mistake and their mistake, but I'm in the middle. So I put him in place. I think it was extremely important. It's not important to do it every single time with every single person all the time. But when you can't handle the worst, when you can handle the worst, take the risk. And guess what? Today, I cannot handle the worst. So I didn't want to take the risk. So I made it very, very clear to my friend. Don't do that. Don't do that. He responded very well. He listened. And this is it. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself. Demand, know your value. And demand what's your worth. And if there's an actual risk to you right now doing something, and it's in someone else's responsibility about it, yeah, and they have the power actually to change things, yeah, and when they drop it back on you, and you don't really have the power to do something, yeah, you give the responsibility right back to them. They reframe the situation. You reframe it back. Look, this is what happened. A, B, C, D, and then E. This is what happened. This was the previous conversation. I listened to it again. It was like, To be honest, I don't like it when people reframe the situation again and again, sort of to their favor, as if like sort of nothing happened. This is, I don't like it. Either way, I put myself first, took care of myself, and I'm very happy with it. And more than that, Silver would say, this is completeness. And this is my number one value. I seek completeness. I can see completeness. This is my number one value I'm moving towards, because completeness can be today with a little bit of anger. Completeness can be with sadness. Completeness could be with happiness. Completeness is an actual state of being that I can move towards and be all my life. I am complete with what I'm doing. Yeah, I have zero regrets. I thought about making this conversation. It was super important to me. I did it. By the way, completeness, regret can be about things that we did. So it's not about just doing things. Completeness is not necessarily about action. It's about feeling completeness with yourself, being whole and having zero regrets about your actions. This is what I got today, right now, after the conversation. Have an amazing day. Day one. See you tomorrow.